Alright guys, here's the actual try on in the rain with the Harley Davidson nylon shell and PVC interior rain jacket. I look forward to wearing this as a stagehand. Of course this is a riding jacket, but it has the features that I would need in the rain. So I've got my dreadlocks tucked in. It's raining pretty good here in New Orleans. I'm happy I was able to come out here and catch this while it's still raining. It's been going on for about an hour. Some thunderstorm in the background. I mean like some thunder. I don't see any lightning. But yeah, looking to invest in some rain pants. Right now I have some gaiters, or waders actually. We joke out here in New Orleans, I always say gaiters instead of waders. You know, there's so many gators in the water. But yeah, they're just kind of a hassle to put on and off unless you're really like just stuck in it out in a field. There's no real reason to wear the waders. So let me get out here, get a little wet. This is actually about as real as it would get if I was to be unloading a truck out here in the rain. So yeah, I could get drenched, but you're gonna want something with some good coverage. Coming down pretty steady. This is about how it would be if I was out, you know, doing a load in. I've got the velcro closed up. Zipper pockets are exposed though, they're a little open, so I've got them closed with the velcro. I just went ahead and zipped that, but I didn't see any water getting in just yet. I don't have a bag on right now, but usually I'm wearing like a crossbody bag with a couple of tools in it, or a sling bag with my everyday carry. So you're not getting the actual representation of how puffy this would be, but I do feel like there's still enough room on the inside to be able to, you know, comfortably have a bag on under this so it's not getting soaked in the rain. Now a waterproof bag on top of that would definitely be a plus, but even then, you know, you want to kind of keep it under your jacket. I'll also make the comment that it's not too hot outside today. It's been raining most of the morning, so it hasn't really had an opportunity to get hot. But again, I haven't seen it rain as hard as it is right now on a fully sunny day in a long time. A lot of people visit New Orleans, I feel like, and they come during a storm for, you know, whatever reason. It's just how it goes. You know, you take a vacation and all of a sudden, you know, especially in Florida, it's like raining every day, summer showers. But when you live here, my experience has been that the weather has been better than it has been worse. Especially now that I actually live closer to New Orleans. I used to drive across from the North Shore, and a lot of times I feel like I'd be driving into a storm. But now that I wake up in the morning and I have the opportunity to kind of see the weather like progressively get worse and stuff like that, I'll definitely say that the weather tends to be better than it is worse. And even coming out here, I almost missed the opportunity to get you guys some really good footage of how durable this jacket is in the rain, just because it's not raining very hard right now. I can see the sun coming back up like over towards the lake, and like I'm right up against the seawall, and I just really think that you know, New Orleans is a pretty decent place as far as weather goes. Overall, you know, we do get storms obviously, but to be standing out here right now talking to you guys in the middle of July, you know, it's July 5th right now, in this dual layered jacket here, I'm not hot at all. And that's one of those reasons why I'm not leaping to buy rain pants at the moment. Again, purchases like these really go into effect not so much during your daily wear, but these are large purchases. Again, this is a $90 jacket, you know, second hand. That is, these go for about 300 bucks on the Harley Davidson website, and you're not even gonna get every style from every season or every state. But I think that these sorts of purchases really go into effect when you get called out for like festive, multi-day work on the same site, you know, for 8 to 10 hours a day sometimes. This isn't gonna be your everyday sort of need. We saw some people kind of come into the shop earlier in short sleeves, t-shirt. I think they might have been driving during the bulk of the storm that we just had over here, you know, so this was a good day for some content, because had it been raining too hard, this might have been too much of a hassle to actually be getting in and out and everything. But I'll see if I can get some clips, you know, depending when I'm out on the field, that I could use to kind of like have a follow-up of just like what it is like to be able to wear something like this. And I've got a short little t-shirt on under this, which is great too, because that kind of lets me know, you know, if I am going out on an assignment, this might be a good opportunity for you to pull out one of your non-collared shirts, you know, that you can wear underneath something that's still black. And as a 1099 worker, that's something that people should understand, that yes, they will try to like make you wear a dress code. Obviously, you should be wearing black in this profession, but at the same time, you are the person that should be setting your hours. You are the person that should be defining your own dress code. So things like a suggestion to wear a collar and things like that, take those as suggestions. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, depending on the number of contracts you have, that's when you start to make those decisions of, is this a client that I want to continue to work for? Especially, you got to think about things like the cultural expression and stuff like that. So if your client, you know, doesn't necessarily align with, you know, what your cultural expression is, and say maybe there's some like racial innuendos here and there, you know, on top of them trying to enforce you to wear a uniform when you're only a 1099 worker, not an employee. You don't, the 1099 and employee do not go hand in hand. 1099 workers are not being paid having to pay taxes up front out of the paycheck and stuff like that. So the terms and things and requirements for what should be expected of you should be very different. So yeah, take that into consideration. But here's a prime example of when, you know, I feel like it would be necessary or acceptable to wear something that's not a collared shirt up underneath what it is that you're wearing. So I've only been in this for like about a year. I've had my LLC going on about 3 years now. And I've accepted 1099 work before where there really was no dress code or anything like that. But, you know, if you've got other experience and you've got something to offer on that topic, feel free to leave it in the comments. You know, I might be wrong on something, but I do think that you should be able to be a little bit more meticulous, as long as it's, you know, fashion forward and it's coming from a professional standpoint. I don't think guys should be out here in like wife beaters and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you should be able to make that decision if it's something that's actually going to serve you a better function and it's not deemed as appropriate, you know, when it comes to things like a collar or no collar. That's when you should be able to make that decision for yourself. So I think like that, there you go. It will work well under this. I haven't really seen any raindrops penetrate through this to the point that it's soaked. And a lot of it you visibly can't see because it's black, but up here the gray, I don't see it really visibly soaking it. It's kind of just staying on the outer edge. I think this would even be a good golfer's jacket to pull out if it started raining in the middle of the golf day. I had it in my bag and it was kind of wrinkled, but after wearing it for about 20 minutes, the wrinkles are starting to like kind of like, you know, release themselves and everything. I think it's a great little like work jacket, very professional, security guard, gray, black, you know, just an opportunity to see that, you know, out here. So I've seen other things like light blues. I had that in the Frog Toggs, but this is primarily gray up top, which is actually great because that's going to be the least area. I mean, you're going to encounter the sun a lot less up top than you're up the bottom, you know, and so if you don't know, black absorbs heat, so having the gray up top is a plus. And all these little 3M details, I see them all. I even spilled a little coffee in my bag, and the cool thing about the rain, it's gonna rinse off those little, you know, things like that kind of get on your clothes throughout the day. And this was clean, you know, I got it secondhand, I washed it. Nylon, PVC, I would not dry it on high heat. That's my only recommendation. You know, if it was dirty from the day before, make sure you have enough time to wash it before you actually get, you know, ready for the next day, or, you know, get up early enough to wash it and put it in a low tumble dry setting for at least an hour. This isn't something you're gonna be able to dry in 20 minutes on low, and unfortunately that high heat, it'll accelerate the deterioration of your nylon. And that's facts. It looked basically brand new when I took it out the package, even from the secondhand, place that I got it from. And just from drying it, I noticed that, it kind of made the fabric look a little bit more, just like think of an old starter jacket or an old nylon jacket or something, how it starts to get like, you could just see it looks like maybe somebody rubbed it with like a gentle sandpaper or something. I noticed that the material had got a little bit more worn, even from that one wash. It wasn't significant, but it was definitely something I noticed. It didn't have that like stiff out the box look to it anymore. But I'm gonna wrap this thing up. It looks like the rain has stopped. It provided me a nice little backdrop to kind of give y'all the insight and everything on what I think about this jacket. But over a Frog Toggs jacket, it's well worth it. Of course, you've got a second layer as compared to a Frog Toggs jacket. I did return mine, and I even was able to use a teacher's discount on mine. So I got my little $30 back and everything, and that went towards buying this jacket. If it was in the $60 price range or something, I probably would have just kept the Frog Toggs jacket. But I'd say now that I'm wearing this, I would still like to have the Frog Toggs jacket, and be able to like keep that in my trunk or something, because I think if I was to start moving around, now the rain's lifting up and the sun's coming out, it's definitely getting hotter in that aspect, but I'd be able to take it off by now. But if I was moving around a whole lot, the last job I had where I was wearing one of these, I was able to be in a golf cart throughout the day and able to do different things where the wind was hitting me near the river. But I would say I would not want to be doing any sort of like heavy lifting right now, where the weather is. But if it was still pouring like it was 20 minutes ago, and a little bit cooler, I can see myself, just kind of ushering people to and fro if I just had to be outside, because, work is going to start to slow down at that point, depending on what it is you're doing. So it's just having different things for, different opportunities. So that little Frog Toggs jacket, it was thin. It didn't seem like it would have held up as long, but, I think to have that, if, say all of a sudden the work changed, and even if this were to get soaked, I think it's possible. If you're out here for a couple of hours and everything, it's possible. So to even be able to like switch one jacket over another and have one less expensive option while this one kind of dries in the background, I think that'd be a good option for you. So there you go, Harley Davidson. I'd give it a 9 out of 10, just because I wish they would probably make something different than the nylon, because you got to be a little bit more careful with the washing process. But as far as that goes, I don't see anything else wrong with it. I think it will hold up in a good storm like this, or just trying to hurry up and get to safety, depending on where you're at. If you had to evacuate something or whatever, you came out in the middle of a storm. But yeah, and I'd still give Frog Toggs. I give Frog Toggs about a 6 out of 10, just because I had only had the opportunity to wear it one time in a storm, and it kept me dry. It kept my like belongings dry in the zipper pockets and everything like that. But I mean, just through sheer happenstance, we were able to get to shelter after like an hour or so. If it would have been any longer than that, it would have fully absorbed some water. So yeah, there you go. So I just reviewed two rain jackets. You saw one, but that's my opinion on the other. Y'all have a good one.